Good morning, Enid. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, April 18th. And we're so glad that you join us. Grab a cup of coffee, and for the next 30 minutes, we've got news, weather, sports, and we're going to be talking horseshoes. Now, when's the last time you woke up early on a Thursday morning to talk horseshoes? But we are today, and we've got one of the area and local Enid experts, Jim Hudson's, with us to talk horseshoes. So it's going to be a great show. Thank you for joining us. Again, we're live streaming around the globe at enidtv.org. So we want to say good morning to our friends across the country and around the globe today. And also coming to you in live television here on Channel 12 and 112. This is Good Morning Enid. It's time to rise and shine.
Good morning, Enid. Thank you again for joining us today. I don't know about you, but those storms were pretty rough last night. But I don't think I got any hail. Did you get any hail last night?
No, just the wind moved the house about 6
Yeah.
6 inches, I think. Is it just?
Yeah.
My house is not as square as it was the night before. It just kind of moved.
I got that. Yeah, the winds were very strong last
Yeah.
night. Let's see if these storms are going to continue with the bus stop forecast today. Looks like we're currently sitting at 51 degrees with a high today of 67 and a low tonight of 40. It does not look like the storms are going to continue. Looks like it's going to be partly sunny all day today with winds out of the north from 17 to 20 miles an hour. So it looks like a pretty good day, a little bit chillier than the past couple of days, but what to expect when the storm hits.
Yeah, springtime. And you know, what, the last couple of days we've had real humid weather, and it's typical for storm season. And then when the front comes through, it kind of cools off, so we kind of get used to that. Well, everybody's always looking forward to the weekend, and we'll take a look at the weekend forecast for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got Good Friday coming up, and you can see a very pleasant temperature of 67 for Good Friday. Saturday, I know, is a big soccer day, an outdoor day for many folks, and also people are starting to work in their yards more. And then on Easter Sunday, we have a very pleasant 78 degrees. Looks like it's going to be a little bit on the cloudy side on Sunday, but overall for Easter weekend, it looks very, very nice. Upper 60s, upper 70s. Jim, thank you for being here. I failed to mention that to earn your keep, you have to do part of the weather, and we have some record temperature. My mistake. I didn't get a chance to give you that heads up, but we're going to have some numbers here on the screen in just a moment. They're called record temps, and it's your job to tell us how hot and how cold it was.
On this date, April 18th, 2006, a high of 99. Had a record, at the record, what, low?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, boy, I didn't read that right. Record high, 29 degrees and 53.
Yeah,
wow.
I think they switched those.
The low was 99 and the high was 29. So that's the way it is in Oklahoma.
Oh, it is, yeah.
You've been in Oklahoma long enough to know that's the way it is. Anyway, you can see high or low, it doesn't matter. You can tell it was 90-something one day and 20-something the next. I tell you, that's Oklahoma weather, that's for sure. Well, again, we appreciate you joining us this week as we talk about the, I'm trying to think of the Enid Area Horseshoes Club.
Horseshoe Pitching Club.
Horseshoe Pitching Club. Okay, we're going to get every detail of that in just a few moments, and we appreciate Jim being with us today. Well, before all of that, it's 7:33. Let's find out about the school menu and see if Aaron's going to school this week.
Yeah, so it looks like we're having fish sticks. That sounds pretty good. And grilled cheese tomorrow. I think both those sound good. Oh, there's mac and cheese today and salad with ranch, zucchini slices, mixed fruit. I don't know which day looks better. Grilled cheese and tomato soup is always pretty good too, though.
I raised 2 hands up for Thursday. Fish sticks.
Fish sticks and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I think they both look good. I might go to school both days this week.
Of course, I haven't had fish stick and mac and cheese since the 3rd grade, but I would still vote for that. So anyway, have a good day at school, everyone. And we're probably rounding third base heading home, because once we get to the month of May, school's getting close to being out. Well, 7:34, and it's about time to do the news, I think. And we want to turn to one guy, and that's the bow tie guy, Derek Silas, and he has the Oklahoma Minute.
After an uneven first 9, Tiger Woods becomes a Masters champion for the 5th time in his career. And this was the first Masters he had received since 2005. An astronaut Owen K. Garrett, an Enid native, died on Monday at the age of 88. His first space flight aboard Skylab in 1973 set a new world record for a duration of approximately 60 days, more than double the previous record at the time. And the 13th annual Remember the Run will be held Saturday, April 20th at Oklahoma State University. Here's a little history. In January 27, 2001, 10 members of the family died in a plane crash in Colorado. And on April 21st, 2007, they came to celebrate those lives with a memorial run, and now it's an annual tradition. Tomorrow, in Game 3 of the playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder will go up against Portland Trailblazers at 8:30 p.m. in Oklahoma City. You can watch it on Fox Sports and ESPN. And here's a fun fact. Adventure Quest at Leonardo's Discovery Warehouse is the world's largest community-built outdoor playground. It was built by over 12,000 volunteers and took 150,000 volunteer hours to build. The warehouse has a look of a 3-story wooden castle from a storybook. And on this day in history, in 1906, was the Great San Francisco earthquake. It was estimated close to 8.0 on the Richter scale, killing hundreds of people as it topples numerous buildings. The quake was caused by a slip of the San Andreas Fault over a segment of 275 miles. And shock waves could be seen all the way from southern Oregon down to Los Angeles. And that's the Oklahoma Minute.
Thank you, Derek. It's 7:36, and it's amazing how quick. I say this from time to time. 10 years used to be 10 years. Now it's closer to what, 5 or 6 years. It goes so quick, and the tragedy of the Oklahoma State basketball team. They were coming back from a basketball game in Colorado, and that was, I think Derek said, 13 years ago. It's just amazing how quick it's been. And then Governor Frank Keating was in Enid yesterday speaking, and it's been 24 years since the Murrah building blast. So it doesn't seem possible. Kind of hate to, well, you want to remember these events because of the families that have been impacted, but it's amazing 24 years for that. Anyway, it's 7:37. If you have any pictures you want to send us for Easter or graduation, things that are coming up, you can send them to gme@enid.org. It is gme@enid.org. We look forward to seeing maybe some spring pictures. You've got some great looking tulips this year. I noticed the tulips are looking really good in different areas of the state. And so it didn't get cold enough to really hurt them, because you know the tulips, usually put them in the ground around November. If you're really a tulip farmer, put them in the ground in November, and then in spring they really come up. But if you have a real cold winter, it'll kill a lot of the tulip bulbs. But this year they look pretty good. So, okay, that's enough of home gardening here on Good Morning Enid. And well, we need to find out what's happening. It's good to have Aaron here to tell us what's happening here on Good Morning Enid.
Thanks, Steve. There's a bunch of great events going on. Starting off is auto racing at the Enid Speedway this Saturday. Gates open at 5 p.m. and the racing starts at 7. It's $15 for adults, $12 for seniors, students, and military, and 12 and under are free. There's going to be a bunch of different cars racing. There's a Sooner late model, which I think is in the picture. I'm not a car buff, but I think that's the one that is in the picture right there. There's sport mods, A modified, pure stocks, and intermediate sport mods. So there is going to be a bunch of racing. If you're into cars, this is a really fun place. I went last year. It's a blast. After that, I don't know if we have a slide for this, but there's the Easter Bunny Games this Saturday from 1 to 3 at Champion Gym. This is hosted by the City of Enid, so it's a great City of Enid event, and it'll be a lot of fun for the kids, so that's a great place to bring the kiddos this weekend for Easter weekend. After that, we have the event, which is on Monday from 5 to 8. It is $5, and it is at the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center. It is an outdoor concert featuring bands, choirs, vocalists, and other musical arts from Enid Public School students. So if you want to support the kids, this is definitely a great event. There's going to be picnic meal offered, and you get to listen to some great music. And finally, we have Enid High Drama Department is presenting Shrek the Musical, April 23rd through 26th. It is at 7:30 p.m. and it is your classic Shrek. So if you love this kids movie with Shrek and Fiona, Donkey, all of those great characters, the Enid High School is going to be presenting this wonderful play, and that's what's happening.
And I understand that the Enid Big Blue Band is doing some fundraisers as well. So a lot of things are going on because I think one of the Enid choir groups went to Chicago for a competition. So we want to say congratulations to the Enid school system and also to the Enid High School band and choir and everybody involved for all the good work that they're doing. Okay, speaking of spring flowers, let's take a little short break and be reminiscing of some spring flowers and trees. And then we'll be back to talk to Jim Hudson. We're talking horseshoes right after this. That's kind of springy music, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was nice and happy.
Yeah, nice and happy. I think at springtime we get nice and happy because after the winter it's been gray and cold and everything. So, okay, horseshoe time. Here we go at 7:41. If this young man looks familiar to you, he joins us every December along with another member of a group called Dab of Glory, and we usually have a Christmas program where they sing Christmas carols. And Jim Hudson is part of that singing group. So, Jim, welcome back. Can't believe it's been December, but we were talking about how quick time goes.
Time goes, yeah.
It goes quick. So we'll talk horseshoes, and Aaron and myself, we got all kinds. We want to learn about this stuff. So
Put me to a quiz.
yeah,
huh?
yeah. We got about 10 questions. So here we go.
Yes, starting off, I heard that you are a very important person in this horseshoe business. You're the president and the league director of the Enid Area Horseshoe Pitchers Club.
Yep, I've been the league director. This is my 11th year. That means keep the records for the league as far as the scores and whatever wins, losses, and then here about 4 years ago, no one else wanted to be president, so naturally they railroaded me into that, as a lot of groups do. And then lo and behold, about 3 years ago, the gal was going to be our treasurer, decided she didn't want to be, and they said, "Well, Jim, why don't you be that too?" I thought, how many hats can I wear? But how many hats can you trust me with? But so yeah, I'm the president, league director, and treasurer of our local horseshoe pitching club.
So let's talk a little bit about your club. I understand that it is a sanctioned club.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what that means.
Well, we're sanctioned through the.
Sounds serious.
We're sanctioned the National Horseshoe Pitching Association,
Okay.
and they've been around since the 30s, and I think something like that. And in order to be sanctioned, you got to have the courts built a certain way to their specifications. The stakes 40 feet apart, and the foul line, and so forth, and so on. And so you have to apply for that. And we put some courts in. I wasn't around. And back in '87, a few of the guys have been pitching in some tournaments around the state, and man, we ought to have some courts in Enid. They checked with the city and found a spot out at Meadow Lake, South Meadow Lake, and they put in 12 courts. And about 3 years later, they applied for and got sanctioned. At that time, they put in 4 more courts, and so we have 16 courts. And so we have the most any place in the state. And so that's why people like to come here, because we can get our tournament in without having to have a morning and afternoon squad, particularly when it starts getting hot. And since the court's been out there for 30 years, of course, the cement kind of got dinged up with horseshoes. So about 2 years ago, I approached the Parks Department, and with the city's help, we put in some new courts, updated them, where we got the full pad, full length, full width, full length. And that makes it handicap accessible with wheelchairs, because Special Olympics use our courts.
We'll talk about the wheelchair part.
Okay.
That's all right. No, here in just a little bit. But the sanction part, again,
Okay.
to me just tells all the certification. And you alluded to tournaments. And I think Erin, she's got some inquiring mind.
Yes.
She wants to know about this tournament stuff because it sounds serious.
Yeah, it sounds like you said you had courts at Meadow Lake. Is that where you host all of your games and all of your tournaments, or
Yes.
are there other courts?
No, that's where our courts are. That's where we put them in, you know.
Where are they at Meadow Lake Park?
South Meadow Lake, you know where they put that new big slide in over there?
yeah.
It's just right there near it. I'll go South Meadow Lake.
And that was kind of a lead into one of my questions to help us locate where those the park is. Where what do you call it? Is it a horseshoe? It's not a horseshoe park, but it's a horseshoe.
It's just Horseshoe Courts.
Courts, okay, that's the
Horseshoe
court.
courts.
So tell us about the partnership then, since these courts are in place in Meadow Lake Park. Tell us about the relationship with the city of Enid and the Horseshoe Club.
Well, as I kind of jumped the gun on you a while
All
ago,
right.
they contacted the city and they said, well, we got a spot over in South Meadow Lake that, and Jerry Woods, I don't know whether he was actually a member of the Parks Department or he just knew some people and visited with them, but he had a portable cement mixer, one of the old crank machine, and so they took it out there and mixed the cement and basically just, the Horseshoe pitchers and maybe a couple of Parks people at that time put in those courts at that time, and but they've been real helpful in putting in these new ones. I really appreciate the new look.
Well, the reason I mentioned that because the city of Enid, as in the organization, is always interested in partnering with the organizations when they can to really enhance the quality of life. So it's good to know that.
And you already touched on my next question a little bit. You mentioned that you made your new courts handicap accessible. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, it's just basically the pads. Like I started to say, the pads are full width, full length, and they're going to run a sidewalk down the middle from each end. They haven't quite done that yet. We've got a few things we've got to touch up to make them the new courts. We plan on having a grand reopening at the state tournament. We're going to host the state tournament, singles tournament this year, Labor Day weekend. And right now our plans are to kind of have the grand reopening at that time. And hopefully everything will be completely in place by that time.
Before we went on the air, Jim, you had mentioned something about kind of a summer league and a fall league. I think you had the two different
We have
seasons. Is that it?
We have a 6-week spring league and a 6-week fall league. We just started our spring league about 2 weeks ago. We were supposed to have our third night this last Tuesday, but didn't have enough guys show up because of conflict, so we canceled and just have to reschedule and move on down the line. But we have a 6-week spring league, 6-week fall league.
So my question is, with these two different 6-week periods, if you will, what is the role of your pitchers club to host these events?
Well, we just try to get the word out, word of mouth,
Okay.
and let people know that we have the league and the Horseshoes. And I was talking to a guy at church here a month ago, and he goes, "That sounds like fun." So he came out and joined the league this spring. So we have some have to leave because of as they get older that they just wear out and they just can't pitch anymore or die off. I mean, they do that.
Yeah.
And
I used those same lines the other day. I was talking to a runner friend of mine. I said, "You just kind of retire from running.
you wear out.
You wear out."
You wear
I think that was the words I used myself. So, okay, let's talk about some competition.
Yes, I've heard about this thing called the Oklahoma-Kansas border war. What is that about?
Well, that's pitchers from Kansas, pitchers from Oklahoma. We get our gun. No, we
Step off 30 feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't shoot to see the whites of their eyes. The first year it was held up at Hudson, Kansas, and then this last fall we hosted it here, and so this is the kind we're just kind of getting it going, and it's just good friendly competition. That's the main thing I want to point out. Horseshoe pitchers are one of the friendliest groups you'll see. Help each other out, encourage each other. Before each game, we decide who's going to pitch first by flipping the shoe like flipping a coin, and you reach out and shake hands. You say, "Have a good game." If you lost the game by 20 points or 40 points, or won by that many, you reach out and say, "Hey, you had a good game." They're just really a friendly bunch. So it's just friendly competition. We kind of we're going to get you, but it's just at the end of the day it's just a good bunch of people.
Well, it's good to know that you're friendly and helpful. I need to borrow $20, by the way.
Okay, I think I have that.
Okay, Jim. Earlier, you'd mentioned about the singles tournament coming up in September. How do people get involved? How do they know about it? Do they have to qualify to be in this tournament in September? How does that all work? At least for that September event.
Well, first of all, you have to be a sanctioned member of the NHPA.
Okay.
Now, there's 3 ways of being a member, and actually for it you have to pay $35, and that pays you for the whole year. Part of that goes to the national, part of it goes to the state. I'm not sure how that breaks down. I haven't followed up on that. I just know it costs you $35 to join. And then to qualify for the state tournament, you do have to have so many other tournaments in so they can kind of decide where you fit in the brackets. They decide where you fit into what class by your ringer percentage to keep track of how many ringers you do per how many shoes. And so you have to have so many tournaments in. I think it's 3 to qualify for the state tournament.
Very good. We're talking horseshoes this morning on Good Morning Enid, and our special guest is Jim Hudson. He's the president, he's the CEO, he's the treasurer, he's everything with the Enid area. Yeah, he's everything with the Enid area Horseshoe Pitchers Club.
I have plenty of help.
And if you missed it earlier today, there's one guy that we turn to that knows everything. He knows news, weather, and sports. He does know everything. And that is Derek Silas, the bow tie guy with the Oklahoma Minute.
Why, thank you, Aaron. After an uneven first 9, Tiger Woods becomes a Masters champion for the 5th time in his career. An astronaut, scientist, engineer, and professor, Owen K. Garrett, an Enid native, died on Monday at the age of 88. The 13th annual Remember the 10 run will be held Saturday at Oklahoma State University. It memorializes 10 members of the OSU who died in a plane crash in Colorado in 2001. And tomorrow, Game 3 of the playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder will go up against Portland Trail Blazers at 8:30 p.m. in Oklahoma City. You can watch it on Fox Sports or ESPN. And here's an Enid fun fact. Adventure Quest at Leonardo's Discovery Warehouse is the world's largest community-built outdoor playground right here in Enid, Oklahoma. And on this day in history, in 1906, the Great San Francisco earthquake, which was estimated close to 8.0 on the Richter scale, killed hundreds. The quake was caused by a slip of the San Andreas Fault over a segment of about 275 miles long. That's the Oklahoma Minute. Now, here's Kevin Bariski from the Stride Bank Center to tell you about more upcoming events.
Welcome back inside the Stride Bank Center. A lot of exciting things going on. Starting next Thursday, Sawyer Brown will be here at the Stride Bank Center. A great legendary country act going to be taking the stage Thursday night in partnership with Triangle Insurance. That's April 25th. Tickets are only $25. A very affordable, entertaining event right here at the Stride Bank Center. We're really looking forward to it and excited for it. Tickets are still available, but going quickly. 2 weeks after that, we have another indoor football game. If you missed the first Flying Aces game, you missed out. What excitement, what entertainment, a ton of fun. Tickets start at just $12 for that. Family of 4 can get in for less than $50. You can't beat that right here in Enid, Oklahoma. Some very affordable entertainment and a ton of fun, whether you're a football fan or not. It is very entertaining. It is a lot of fun. The kids will get into it. I promise you, you'll love it and you'll be very entertained. That is May 4th. It's a Saturday night. You want to check that out. We then put our ops team to work here because in less than 12 hours, they have to flip from a football field to a stage because on May 5th, we're bringing in the Beach Boys. And that show gets underway at 6 o'clock. Tickets are still available for that one as well. Tickets start at $50 and that's Sunday, May 5th. So a big weekend, beginning of May, to kind of end the spring and kick off summer right here at the Stride Bank Center. We have another football game in May on May 11th, 3 football games in June, and then the big show that we just announced a few weeks ago, We Will Rock You, a musical by Queen, coming right here to the Stride Bank Center. That's going to be on Sunday, October 20th. First time we've done something like this, bringing in a musical, a national touring musical right here to the Stride Bank Center. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot more to come and announce in the next handful of weeks as well. For tickets, stridebankcenter.com, 855-TICKS-ENID, or just stop by and see us. 2nd floor of Convention Hall, and you can get your tickets in person and say hello to us in the office. Until next time, we'll have more announcements for you, Steve, but until then, back into the studio.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much, and always does a great job. And I'm always looking forward to all the events, and appreciate that update. Okay, it's 7:54. Let's do a little recap on the weather while we have an opportunity, Aaron.
Yes, so the storms have finally ceased. It's going to be pretty nice today, almost hitting 70 later on today, and a low tonight of 40 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the north, 17 miles an hour, and it's going to be partly sunny, so I think it's going to be a pretty nice day after all those storms. And
let's take a look at the 3-day forecast. Big Easter weekend, Good Friday. You see the weather looks pretty nice at 67, a low around 45. And a good weekend weather for family, and Easter Sunday in the upper 70s. And it's kind of this time of year when things really start, they kind of get stormy, but the temperatures get a little bit more pleasant and enjoyable. So anyway, we wish everybody very pleasant Easter weekend. So that's the 3-day weather. Coming up at 8 o'clock in about 6 minutes, had the opportunity to talk with Miss Rodeo Oklahoma for 2019, Cody Samago. I'm trying to remember. I had trouble with it when Cody was here. She's a real great ambassador for the state of Oklahoma. She travels the country representing Oklahoma. Cody is from, Skiatook, just north of Tulsa. Anyway, had a great visit with Cody, and that's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning if you're able to stay with us, which is 5 minutes from now. Quick 30 minutes. Quick 30 minutes.
Always. And now it's time for my favorite part, which we have an Easter-themed dog with us today. It is Benjamin Bunny, and he has some Easter eggs with Charlotte. So take it away, Charlotte and Benjamin Bunny.
Hi, good morning. Today we have Benjamin Bunny. Benjamin is in pen 19. He's a 2-year-old male French Bulldog mix. He is very loving and playful. He's really sociable and he loves belly rubs. And he also likes to ride in the car. So if you're looking for a new friend, come by and meet Benjamin today.
And again, just a reminder, if you want to see Benjamin, if you want to see Charlotte, 249-4910 is the number to call. And Benjamin is a very intelligent dog because he was at City Council meeting on Tuesday. He's well versed on city government. So give Benjamin a home this Easter weekend, if you will. I was going to ask real quick, really quick, Jim. You got all these patches on the right side. Makes it look official. Tell us about those real quick.
Well,
30 seconds. Take all the time you need.
These are patches they hand out if you win a class at state tournament or the league championship, whatever. We have different awards they give out that way. But these are classes I won in the state tournament singles a few years ago. And
do you consider that your pitching uniform? Because I noticed you got the Oklahoma seal, like our flag, on the back. So you don't have to get up model for us.
At the World Tournament, you have to have a shirt that has your name, last name, and state on the back of your shirt. So, yeah, you have to wear those at the World Tournament. So.
Okay, very nice.
For anyone who wants a little bit more information about joining your club or being involved with this horseshoe, what number should they call?
580-977-9284.
And Jim, seriously, we got just a minute to go. You want people to give it fair consideration because it's a sport for really all.
All ages.
And you said the pads are wheelchair accessible, but you're looking for young, middle, and older folks to participate. And the skill level, if somebody just wants to start.
Well, like I said, our league is handicapped, so you might only throw one ringer a game, and some of us might throw 10 or 15, but it's handicapped, so by points per game average. So it kind of evens out the playing field, kind of like bowling. You have your handicap. So, but it's for all age groups, all abilities.
Okay, and the courts, I've learned to say courts, are located at Meadow Lake Park.
South Meadow Lake.
But on the south part. Now, are they accessible just during the day? Can somebody just go out there and just practice on their own, or is it?
Yeah, it's open to the public. I mean, it is a city property. It's not ours, so it's a city property. Okay. It's open. You can go out there and pitch anytime you feel like it.
Okay, very good.
Rain or shine.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for being here. It's good seeing you again. Thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you.
And Jim Hudson is our special guest on Good Morning Enid.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Enjoy this lovely, I think 70-degree weather.
Yeah.
No more storms in the forecast, so it's going to be a wonderful Easter weekend. Have a great day.
And go throw some horseshoes.
Yes, and go throw horseshoes.